Okay, that's way better. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to Just the Watch. This is Dave, and today we're going to be taking a look at some Perlon straps that were sent in by Strapville.com, so I'll be leaving links to them below. This will serve as a review of these particular Perlon straps and kind of an overview of what a Perlon strap is in general, because this is my first time getting to actually really use them. I think I've gotten some from cheapest NATO straps before and wasn't that impressed with the quality there. These are significantly better, and I've really been enjoying them. And in particular, I think they make an amazing alternative to the NATO straps. So NATO straps are incredibly popular. They have some similarities to Perlon. So here you have your kind of typical NATO strap. This is a Perlon strap. Both of these are nylon straps. Both of these are have the kind of added security of being something like a single pass, where the strap has some material that goes underneath the watch, which will allow it to stay on in the event of a spring bar failure. Both of these being nylon, they both have good water resistance, and I believe both of them were originally kind of designed by military personnel for military use. But other than that, there's a lot of differences between them. And I think the Perlon straps offer a lot of advantages over the NATO straps in some circumstances. So let's start by taking a closer look at what exactly is a Perlon strap. So if you guys look closely here, what you have is basically something like a weave or a braid, where you've got this kind of really narrow, flat sort of nylon cord that's woven into this, this strap shape here. And one of the primary advantages of that is the breathability. I mean, you can actually see kind of right through it. So this is the kind of thing that's incredibly comfortable, particularly in hot and humid climates. But at the same time, it's also still very elegant looking. And so you can put it onto a dress watch, and it actually looks way better than a NATO strap, I think. It just fits better. The style is just a more kind of dressy, elegant style, whereas the NATO is very utilitarian. But this one, you're getting a lot of the advantages that you would get with NATO, but you're getting a much more elegant look. And that was kind of like the first thing that I thought of when I would see Perlon straps, is always people using them on dress watches, and I thought this was more of like a kind of a dressy strap for the summer. But actually, as I've gotten to play around with it, I also tried it out on some divers and things, and I think there's a lot of things that the Perlon has going for it beyond just its looks. Another thing that I hadn't realized was really cool is, the kind of the typical Perlon strap, the traditional one, they use this kind of buckle that's kind of like a ladder buckle, and what that allows you to do is it allows you to customize the length of the strap. So you can see on the underside of the strap, you've got this sort of system here where this can be adjusted to any length. And so what that means is that you're never going to have extra strap hanging around. So like with a NATO, that's sort of part of the design, right? Is you've got that sort of extra strap that you tuck back under, and you always got this extra bulk on the side of your wrist or under your wrist or somewhere. The Perlon strap design with this ladder style buckle completely gets rid of that. So you just get a really smooth, really sleek look on the wrist. And again, it looks great on a dress watch. They also come in some, nice vibrant colors. So you can get it in something, something like a bright orange or red or blue, or you can get in more subdued sort of tan or black if you want more of a dressy look. So you got some options there as well. Another thing that's really cool about them is that they are incredibly thin. And in fact, they're thinner than any other NATO that I've tried, which is great because this is the kind of strap that goes underneath, the head of a watch like this. But it adds very little bulk to the watch, which is one of the main downsides to a NATO, especially if it's like a seatbelt NATO or something. NATO, you usually have 2 layers and the fabric's thicker, so you're going to add a couple of millimeters to your watch height, which isn't always what you want to do, particularly with dressier watches. But something like this, it adds almost no height to your watch, and you get maybe like a millimeter or something there. So it's really cool how you can maintain a really slim profile on that. But these really aren't just designed for dress straps. In fact, I think the original purpose was more as kind of like for dive watches. And I was surprised to find that they really work well with dive watches, both functionally and looks-wise. Even though they are a more elegant look, they look pretty good on a dive watch. In fact, I'll go ahead and put it on my new Seiko Samurai that I got here. And yeah, I was surprised how cool this looks. So it's nice, the color obviously matches, but it's a nice sort of a little bit dressier look, but it's completely functional still as a dive watch. You can see it adds almost no height to it, which is a great advantage two dive watches. Dive watches tend to be thicker, and so not having that added bulk is great. But then functionally as well, because of this weave and because there's so much kind of space in between the fabric and all that, it actually dries a lot faster than a NATO strap does. So it's the kind of thing you can get it wet, and then when you get out, it's going to dry much quicker. It's more comfortable on the wrist while it's wet because it's so breathable. So it's just a really great functional strap like that. And that breathability is great not only for water, but for sweat as well. So if you're in a humid environment, having something like on the wrist is much more comfortable than many other straps. Another thing that's interesting with the design here is because this is a weave, there's actually a little bit of flex to it. It kind of pushes and gives, and the shape changes a little bit. So it's actually got a little bit of elasticity to it, more so than a typical NATO strap. So that gives you some extra comfort too. And then the other thing that's really cool is, you've probably noticed by now, but there are no holes on here. Okay, so you can completely customize not only the length of the strap by adjusting, by adjusting the amount of strap you're having on the buckle. When you actually put the strap on the wrist, you can basically choose any of these sort of spaces in between, and the pin simply pushes through like that, and you can push it through anywhere. Okay, so you get almost infinite adjustability on here. So you can get absolutely the perfect fit. It's really easy to take it off and adjust it just a little bit looser or tighter as the day moves on. Super easy there. And so that ability to customize not only the length of the strap, but where the strap attaches, which hole you use, really makes it so you can get a really perfect fit on the wrist every time. And yeah, with that extra elasticity and the breathability, it makes it one of the most comfortable straps that I've worn. And you can see that the Samurai is a fairly large strap and a fairly large watch. And these straps, again, they're super thin, almost a little bit dainty looking. But because they're very strong woven nylon, and because of that customizability where you can get the exact right tightness, it really secures the watch to your wrist really well. It's really comfortable, and it just stays there. It's perfect. It's just a really great, really well designed strap. Now, there are a couple of cases, I think, where NATO straps might be a better option. I think NATO straps are more rugged because these are, made out of, single strands of nylon like this. If one of those strands breaks or gets cut or caught on something, the entire strap is going to start to unravel. So if you're doing things like hiking or things where, you might be having the strap, rub up against things, or you're be in danger of severing one of these cords, maybe a traditional NATO strap is going to give you more durability. Also because of that, in the long run, a NATO strap might be, longer lasting. So depending on what you're using it for, I think a NATO definitely has, some advantages. And other than that, NATOs do look tougher. They look more, more utilitarian, and that style will lend itself well to different watches and, the kind of the personality that you want to give to your watch on that day. All right, now before I go ahead and try these on some of my other watches so you guys can kind of see what they look like, I'm going to just talk a little bit about these particular Perlon straps from Strapville and the quality of them and the price. I believe these come in at about $20 each, and for the money, I think that's about average of what you can get. And this is a decent Perlon strap. It doesn't seem like a premium product by any means, but the quality is good enough at this price range, and you're getting all of the benefits of a Perlon strap in here. I've been using these ones for about a week, and I've been using the blue one mostly. I've been swapping this one in and out on a lot of different watches, and you can see a little bit of wear on the edges of that strap that comes from pulling the strap in and out of the watch there. And particularly, I've been doing it. Like these are 22 and 20 millimeter standard ones. I've been using it on some 21 millimeter watches, which is a little bit tighter there, so there's going to be more tension. So that's one thing. You'll notice at the bottom of the end that goes into the bottom of the strap here, they've got kind of this glue melted part that's to keep it from fraying and to give you something a little bit stiffer to be able to fit through the buckles. That's held out really well. That's one area where the cheapest NATO strap version of this, the cheapest NATO Perlon that I used, this started fraying pretty fast, whereas on this it seems to be holding really well, so definitely appreciate that. The one area that I kind of had some concerns on was with the buckle. They were nice enough to send out a couple of different color buckle options. So you've got you can get in sort of this sort of dark color or a gold tone to match your watch head. But no matter which buckle you're getting, the metal is a very thin pressed construction that feels like it would bend kind of easily. And then the pin is kind of very loose there. So it doesn't, the buckle is probably the part that I would be most concerned about. But looking around online, it seems fairly standard in this price range. This is just seems to be like the kind of buckle that most of these Perlon straps come with. And as far as functionality goes, it's fully functional. I haven't had any problems with that. It secures everything really tightly. It doesn't feel like once it's on the wrist like anything's going to happen. Sometimes this pin being so wobbly can be a little bit of a pain to get it to push through the Perlon strap properly. But that would be the only concern. But again, I was looking around online and it seemed like all of the Perlon straps in this price range almost had this exact same buckle. And I will say this buckle is also better than the cheapest NATO straps buckle that I got on that one. So that's the only one that I've had to compare it to. It is better than that one, but this is something that I would have hoped to see maybe a little bit more premium buckle on there. But yeah, not too big of a deal there. Another thing to note is the just the feel of the material here. It's very stiff and starchy when you first get it, but it does soften up a bit, particularly after getting it wet and drying it out. It seemed like it got a lot softer after that, but still kind of a stiff feeling material. It's not like a soft material, but part of that I think is good for the durability that you get with it. And despite the kind of sort of stiffness and starchiness, it feels still really, really good and really comfortable on the wrist. I didn't find that, being itchy or scratchy or anything like that at all. All right, let's go ahead and get these on and we'll wrap up the review. All right, so here's 4 of my watches I think look really good with the Perlon straps. I think this Laco Casablanca sort of navy style watch works really well with the Perlon strap, since it is a strap that's meant for use in the water. And I think the look is good there. This one I've switched over to the black buckle that matches the black case. So that's kind of cool that you can match the color of the buckle to the color of the watch case. So this one you can see the strap is a little bit long. I could adjust that to get less tail on the end of the strap. But even still, because the strap is so flat and thin, it doesn't really add much bulk to the side, even with that extra strap there. Like I said, I think one of my favorite uses for these straps is with a dress style watch. So something, sort of dressy like this Orient Polaris. I think this is a great summer option for dress watches to give you something that's breathable, something that's comfortable, that's not going to, cause you any issues with sweat, and yet be able to wear it with a dress watch. I think that's a great look. And yeah, I think that just looks so much better than a NATO strap on dress watches. I think it's something that can also work well with chronograph watches here. I have it here on my Bulova Lunar Pilot. And yeah, it's just kind of a fun, sporty look there. You can get these in all different colors, so it's cool to have that kind of options. Again, sort of the more muted colors look great if you really need something to look formal, but if you want something more casual and fun, you can get really bright colors like this. I like the black and orange combination there. And again, I just really love how these straps handle large watches. Like the Bulova Lunar Pilot is a big watch. It's got a really big lug to lug, and a lot of times it kind of wears awkwardly or flops around if you can't get a good fit on the strap. But something like this, because you can get such a customized fit, it really secures it to your wrist well, so it's very comfortable to wear on a watch like this. And there it is again on my Seiko Samurai. Again, really cool, sleek look. Really fun colors and just matches great. That will wrap it up for this review. I do have a discount code, so if you guys want to get 10% off your order, go ahead and use the discount code down in the description. It's just the watch 10. And I'll leave a link to strapville.com where you can go and purchase these straps if you are interested. So definitely recommend Perlon straps for the summer. I think this is just a great option as the weather gets warmer. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you guys like Perlon straps, if you're fans, I think I'm really kind of being converted over. I think these are just really great style straps. And yeah, I kind of don't know why NATO gets so much more wear time from people. I don't see as many Perlons out there, but I think there's a lot of advantages over it, and in a lot of situations, I like these a lot better than NATO straps. So that will wrap it up for today. We'll see you guys later, and talk to you next time. Bye.